Now, to the great outdoors.
That was a good movie, too.
Coloring book for nature lovers. That's a movie, The Great
Outdoors. John Candy, Dan Aykroyd.
I think I have heard of that, actually. I think I've
Circa
seen that,
1984.
Probably.
Ish. It was definitely in the 80s. That's a good movie.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
The bear with the bald spot on his head.
I vaguely remember. I don't remember. Is that what? Did they have a cabin?
Yep.
Was there a bat in the cabin or something like that? Or is that a different movie? That's Chris Farley, isn't it?
That was Chris Farley and David Spade.
Yeah.
That was Black Sheep.
Yeah. I remember that one.
That was funny.
I ate too many pink chips. No, did you?
That was Tommy Boy.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, that was Tommy Boy.
Did you eat too many pink chips as a
I have
kid?
no idea.
Why? Oh, man.
Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, and like those guys. I did Chris Farley movies, but I can't remember which was which. I'm gonna have to watch them again.
Which brings me to your next point. The struggle for eggs.
It absolutely doesn't. It doesn't at all. That was a ridiculous segue, Chris. There was no segue there.
You sure?
I'm positive.
I feel like it went pretty smooth.
Did you eat a lot of pink chips as a kid? That was Tommy Boy. The struggle for eggs, folks. It is hard out here. In fact, let me tell you how hard it is. We call this a podcast. It's not actually a podcast. It's a YouTube channel video series because right now we can't afford to actually host a podcast on a podcast platform. You know why? Because this guy would have to cancel Paramount and I'd have to get a job.
I'm not going to cancel.
I'm not getting a job.
So I'm not getting a job. No, I think you can. You upload them under a podcast thing. It'll be whatever. It'll be fine.
We got it. It's a podcast for your viewing pleasure.
You know what I found out about the eggs?
Some two ugly freaking fellers. I don't know about you, but I woke up handsome again today. So it's gonna be a problem. What about eggs, bro?
So check this out, right?
Yeah.
You know why the cost of the eggs is so high?
Bird flu.
Okay, bird flu.
I have no idea.
No, and that
I know that every time I go to the store, I can't freaking find eggs. That wasn't in my script.
So no.
This isn't even actually a script. I just put them out here to make it look like a.
So the bird flu, right? So.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Is
So
that really what it is? Bird flu?
Yeah.
Right. They say there's an egg shortage, a bird flu. Feel free to break down the tail end of this very simply for me because I need to know. I haven't been able to find that. So.
Are you talking to me or the audience or
them?
Jay?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh, I thought it was me.
When Biden was still president, he ordered. And I've heard this number changed 3 times. I've heard 100,000, 1 million, and 1.5 million. Chickens.
Is he still alive? I haven't heard anything about him.
He's been dead for 20 years.
Really?
So he ordered these chickens. They had bird flu to be, sent on down the river to curb the bird flu, right? Okay, so we got a million.
Killing chickens?
Yes.
How many?
Yes, they
Like
killed the
young
freaking
puppy
chickens.
hands?
They murdered chickens?
Yeah, like 1 million of them.
You eat chicken.
You said billions? Okay.
They murdered 1 million bird flus is what they did.
Okay.
So they wiped out 1 million chickens.
Why didn't
because
they
of
just
bird flu.
mandate chicken vaccinations?
Yeah, well, you know what? That's another road to go down. But, so you think, right, we lost 1 million chickens in the country. And so that's a big deal on the egg laying industry, right? And that's
No.
why we're so low?
No.
Possibly, potentially.
Possibly.
I don't know.
You know how many egg laying chickens there are in the United States?
Way more than 1 million.
As of February 1st, 357 million.
How do you know that?
I looked it up.
357 million chickens.
Laying, just egg-laying chickens.
But wait a minute. Hold on. This is important. I'm kind of an egg snob. So how many of those are pasture-raised hens? Because I like happy eggs. My eggs have to be orange.
Let's face it,
and yolk.
however many they say there are. I mean, there's actually no rate.
It is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call.
You are now entering the twilight
There's
zone.
no real rate.
Aliens and mad scientists. under the ocean.
So
Did
the
you know
question
that's
is,
such a drawing book?
so the question is, how come if we have 357 million chickens and we lose 1 million of them, we don't have any eggs anymore?
Because that sounded like your language that you make up. We send out 1 million chickens. Okay, so he kills 1 million chicken. Off with their heads. Do we at least get to eat the meat?
From 357
So
million,
even though the eggs were bad, would the meat still be good?
I don't know. But the point is, how many eggs did those specific million chickens lay? If there's suddenly a shortage because of,
Okay, look.
because
you got
of,
1
what's
million
that, like
chickens.
0.3,
Most of them lay an
0.03%?
egg a day. Let's say they lay an egg a day. You got 1 million chickens, 1 million eggs a day. So if you got 357 million chickens, and you take away 1 million, that's 356 million chickens. That's literally 1 million chickens for every day of the year. So you got 356 million eggs every day of the year.
What?
Which is where I'm struggling to understand how come there's a shortage of eggs when we only lost 1 million.
COVID.
Funny thing is, 350 million laying chickens, there's only like 330 million Americans. There are more chickens here. Oh my gosh, if the chickens tried to take over, we'd be in trouble.
What if they teamed
Good
up
thing,
with the machines?
good thing they're too stupid. If they knew that, if they could do math, they would know the numbers and knew that they had us. But because they'd all be getting our
If
ankles.
they could do them, really.
Because
If they could really-
that's just egg laying chickens. There's lots of other chickens too.
Who's the goat?
I am. You know what else? Animals. Check this out.
Jerry's to go over there.
Check this out. This is crazy. This is crazy. There are about 3.5 million people in Uruguay, and about 48 million kangaroos in Australia. So, if Australia wanted to conquer Uruguay,
these numbers
if
up?
Australia wanted to conquer Uruguay, they just send their kangaroos, and every Uruguayan would have to fight like 12 or 13 kangaroos on his own. Now, that's a problem.
What is happening here, man? What is happening here?
That's a real. That's
What
a real
is
thing.
really going on?
That's
What
a
is
real.
wrong
That's a
with
real
you?
number.
If Australia sends their kangaroos to Uruguay,
then Uruguayans are in trouble. Uruguayans. Uruguayanites.
I'll be taking that.
You ever seen a kangaroo
double
fight?
trouble if they send their Komodo dragons.
Well,
Why would they send the Komodo dragon?
Why would they send kangaroos, man?
Because there's 48 million of them.
So, to decrease the population? Why would they send them specifically to Uruguay?
Because it's an easy win. Have you ever played Risk?